Welcome back. The state legislature returns for a new session in January. This week, we caught up with House Speaker Cameron Sexton, who discussed agenda items likely to be debated and the results of the 2024 election. The election was good for Donald Trump and Republicans.
When you look at the demographics all across the board, President Trump performed well in all demographics and really cut into the younger generation as well as the older population, men and women, Hispanics, Latinos, African Americans. So he improved dramatically from 2020, which I think goes to the message and it goes to where America's wanting to go, which is similar to where Tennessee is going right now. So I think that's why you see that. You know, with the President Trump administration, I think we'll be able to work and hopefully solve our illegal immigration problem coming across the border, which will help all of us. And then I think you'll have some key Tennesseans potentially in administration with him, which will give us an opportunity to serve our country in a different position than probably what has happened in the past.
The Speaker supports the governor's new school voucher plan.
Look, if you're asking me about school choice, I think at the end of the day, we all want the children in our state to have the best opportunity to succeed. And for some of them, that's a public education, and that's great. For some of them, it may be something different. It may be a homeschool. It may be a private school. It may be a Christian school. It could be something else. But allowing the families to use their hard-earned tax-paying dollars that they're giving to the state to make those decisions that's best for their child in education, which we know if the child has a quality education and they finish high school, not only will we reduce the crime rate, we'll reduce poverty in our state. And it doesn't make sense to make families who kids are struggling in a school setting that's a public school or can't afford to move their kids to a different setting that may be more beneficial, telling them that they have to be in that school that's not meeting their needs for one way or the other and being defined by your zip code. I don't think education of your child should be defined by your zip code, your income level. And so you should have some flexibility in that endeavor.
There appears to be unified Republican support.
And the one thing that people kind of are overlooking that's in the bill is there is a hold harmless for public schools in our state so that if their enrollment decreases, they're held harmless. So they're not going to lose money. At the end, it's about that child. The conversation should now be, let me put it this way, the conversation now is not about the schools losing money. It's about the parents having the ability to make the best decision for their child. And that question of defunding should be off the table. Whether or not the school systems or the directors of schools or the school boards or the teachers association agree with it, who knows? But now the criticism is, the debate now is about the policy, not so much about their take on we're defunding schools. So we can have a conversation about policy and moving forward. And the key question is, should the parents have the ability to use their taxpayer dollars to go to somewhere else other than just the public school that they're zoned for? Should they have the opportunity, should lower income, the middle income people have the same opportunity as those people who are in the wealthier categories that can't afford to take their kids somewhere else? Should they have the same opportunity that they have? And I say yes.
Are Tennessee public schools making progress?
Well, I mean, I think we're not seeing the progress that we have hoped for. I went back to look over the amount of new state funding that we put into public education in our state. And so in the last 12 years, we put in over about $3 billion new state dollars, $3 billion. That doesn't include local money and that doesn't include federal increase in money. So that's $3 billion new dollars. And our numbers are pretty much stagnant. Now, we've improved a little bit in third grade reading and math, but that was after we put in the literacy legislation and really focused the third grade year on literacy and math. And so the amount of funding we put in, we're still not seeing the results that we think. ACT scores in our state are basically flat over the last 12 years. And so it tells you that parents are looking for something else. The best way to improve and to get better is to have competition. And so if all schools are competing with each other and everyone can go to any school they want to, regardless of their income level, because now they have an opportunity to use their taxpaying dollars to make a choice, everybody has to improve because now they're all fighting over that one student. They're not fighting over just a few who may have the means or not. So you have to do everything you can to make sure that you're meeting the needs of every single student, and that only makes our school systems better.
How is the current relationship with Nashville?
But we have a great relationship. We're going to continue to work with Mayor O'Connell and to do things that will allow Nashville to continue to grow and expand and do what they need to be successful and economically successful. It's a major economic driver in our state, as is Memphis. And so we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we can continue to grow as a state, but also that they can continue to grow. And one of those big things is I know he had his referendum is trying to handle traffic and congestion. And so that's where we came in with choice lanes and other things. And he's going a little bit different approach for a local aspect that he just got approved the other day.
Is more being done for Tennessee hurricane victims?
I'm sure we will. The first step was the local communities needed some source of revenue to be able to pull down FEMA funds. They didn't have enough funding locally or enough in reserve to start that process. That's why I was very happy to see Governor Lee move his approach to use some shared savings off the TennCare, which is for public health issues, which this is, to allow those communities to start the process to pull down the FEMA money and then reimburse the state back. But we're going to look at funding in the future if they need something when we come back next year. What funding do they need? Obviously, TDOT's doing a great job trying to fix roads and bring some of those back. I'm sure there'll be some additional funds that we need to do there. But you also may have things that we may need to change in statute, like there's property tax notices that are supposed to go out, but people don't have homes, people don't have this. So do we need to give them ability to have a buffer between now and a certain months to get that back under control? That would require legislation. So, we're working with the governor and the Senate and the comptroller and others in our state to see what we can do. And we'll see when we come back in January, all the things that need to be done that will help Northeast Tennessee.
Stay with us. This Week continues in a moment.